Hey everybody, I'm Nathan. This is Lauren. Welcome to your August edition of our 4Thought newsletter. You can tell it's August and it's summertime because we're almost identically dressed, and this is not something we discussed.
We've been friends too long because obviously we're starting to dress alike more often than we.
I like this.
Thank you. Yeah, but more often than we would like to admit.
Yeah. So we hope you had a great Fourth. Hopefully spent with your family or friends. Speaking of family, and you probably have received, in addition to our newsletters, you receive our firm's Confluence newsletter.
Yeah.
Which is a great newsletter as well. We speak to our specific clients, and firm speaks to all of our clients collectively.
Yeah, and I think they kind of do it. Ideally, we get a little bit more specific in our newsletters and these videos. But I really thought when I read the last one, it made me kind of reconsider what the definition of wealth is. So a lot of financial advisors and our firm are concerned about making sure a legacy that someone works hard to create lasts into the future. And a part of that is assets, right? Are assets that you've accumulated over time, but also what I'd like to see it be is kind of a story that continues into the future. So
Sure.
I was telling Nathan earlier, when I look back in the past, and unfortunately the older I get, it happens without me consciously doing it. I really wish that my grandparents, who of course were immigrants, came here and changed the trajectory of my life, my brother's life, our families. And I don't know enough about that because I just don't think that generation was the kind that was posting things on Twitter or X.
They weren't sharing their deepest thoughts
taking
with you.
pictures of their meals and
No.
posting it on Instagram.
Yeah.
So, when I think about family meeting, and that's something that I wanted us to address today, is as you think about transitioning wealth to the next generation,
Which doesn't happen. Like, what's the statistic? I think by the second generation, 90% of that is gone.
yeah, and I think because there's lots of reasons, but I would think two of them would be sometimes wealth passing from one generation to the next can be a blessing.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
But sometimes it can also be
It can be a burden, of course.
and a part of our role, what we would like to do is take that burden off people and maybe figure out a way to, I hate to use the word transition again, but to communicate, if somebody's going to be inheriting wealth, how was that wealth developed? How was that wealth managed? How was the trust put together? Yeah. And what's
your wishes? What's your wishes for that? Those assets that you accumulated, what are your wishes for them after you're gone?
That's right.
Right. And a lot of times that's going to be your family, and communicating the story behind what you wanted this to be about, what you wanted it to be for. Communicating that to the next generation is very, very important. And these meetings can be as formal or informal, right, as you would want them to be. At the very least, we know how crucial it is for us to have a connection with, at least be introduced to, have some connection with the people in your life that if you are accumulating wealth that you want to be given to them, you want us to be connected to them. It doesn't make for a very good transition or a very good.
If it's the first time they met us,
yeah,
and there's no story about how we worked together, what you valued in our relationship and what we valued in the relationship as well. And Nathan was saying it earlier, and we talked about it a lot before we did the video today, is, a family meeting doesn't have to be a formal boardroom. Sure. With Excel spreadsheets doing VLOOKUPs. It can be as casual as we have dinner together, or we have a client event and you invite friends and family and just casually introduce us as somebody that you work with. Or it can be a more sophisticated meeting that includes some advanced software that we can analyze and I think make it easier for people to understand.
Sure. So we've actually, I don't know if that was mentioned in our Confluence newsletter, but we have now the ability to analyze your estate documents at a higher level, and produce some documents that can be shared in a meeting setting like that, that will demonstrate, here are the assets that you're accumulating. Here's the path of where they're going to be over time. Here's how they are going to be distributed according to your current estate documents. When we review those things with clients, a lot of times they look at those and will say, hey, well, some things have changed since we've last performed, our estate analysis from 10 years ago. We want to review the beneficiaries and the percentages, and maybe there's some organizations in there that we want to add in that are also important to us. So we certainly can, that's part of the services that we continue to expand and provide to clients.
And then I think it opens up the conversation. Like, you may be assigning responsibilities to the people in those documents that have no idea what those responsibilities entail. And better for them to have that conversation now with us in a casual setting than in a situation where there could be more emotions involved. So, these kind of conversations are always uncomfortable. We don't want to necessarily make this video about passing away, but we have to live in the future, and that is something that is going to happen to 99.9% of us. I still know people that think they're going to live forever.
Almost everybody.
But these are things that, again, that's a burden that you don't want to think about, that we can think about for you.
Sure. So we don't want to make this video a downer or something that is going to be depressing, but we know that people were just together probably with a lot of your family members over the holiday, and you'll have several periods throughout the year where we'll, obviously we highlight those moments, because a lot of times those are some of the most important moments of the year.
Yeah, make memories. Making
memories, and that's what's most important. And in light of the holiday and anytime you're together with your family and your loved ones, we want to be a bigger role, have a role in that picture when it comes to your family. We want to be introduced and know the people in your family so that we can better help you and better help them.
Well said. That's it.
That's it. We're good.
I think we're good. That was a perfect ending. Okay. So we say thanks again. Nathan communicated in the past. I'll just refresh it. Unfortunately, on YouTube, due to reasons outside of our control, we can't allow comments, but we designed these videos so that you can share them with people that you feel this strikes a chord with, or that you want to have a deeper conversation with them, but you're not sure how to broach that subject.
Sure.
And as always, we email these out. You can just reply directly to the email if you have questions or concerns, or you or someone that want to schedule a meeting with us so we can get more in depth.
Absolutely.
These short videos really aren't designed for us to kind of walk you through what's the setup, how does the analysis go, and then what's the follow-up afterwards. That's kind of, we reserve those for our
and more specific to your situation. And so we would design something around something you're comfortable with and what you're looking to achieve in those meetings.
Absolutely. So thanks again. We really appreciate when you share this time with us every month. Look forward to talking to you again soon.